been 29 years now. About a couple years back, of course my kidney functioning started to decrease, and it wasn't really no worry, but then of course it just suddenly really decreased back. So that's when I made the decision to, my doctor's like, well, you need to kind of get a fistula put in and start preparing, which I did. I went with the living donor. I was going to go with the dead donor, but when I found out I was blood type O, and found out it was going to be about 6 to 8 years doing dialysis, I opted for the living donor. Basically what I did was, I put it on Facebook. Now, to give you an idea about my donor, who is from California, and he lives the high life out in California where it's sunny all the time and not crappy PA weather. I met him 4 years ago on a cruise. And this was a cruise that we were all listeners of a radio show, Derek and Romaine, and they did a listener cruise. And it was only about 30 of us, and us 30 people became very, very good friends. We still talk on Facebook every day. So 2 years ago, when I found out my kidney functioning had severely decreased, I went on a cruise and I said, hey everybody, this is probably going to be my last cruise for a while because I'm going to be probably starting dialysis soon and not going to be able to do any cruises. And I remember the one night we were at one of the dance clubs, and Keith's my donor, he came up to me and just looked right at me, and I don't think he had too much to drink at that time. He said, if I am a blood match, he goes, I will give you a kidney. He didn't even have to think about it. He was just like, I'll give it to you. And I mean, to hear that at that time, of course, I said to my wife, I told her about it later, and I'm like, I just started crying, just like, get choked up now. But it was like, wow, just, somebody I met 4 years ago on a cruise, and yes, I chat with on Facebook, and that is just willing to give me a kidney like that. So of course, when I found it out, I needed it, I posted on Facebook, and I had, I believe, 13 people call about donating a kidney to me. 12 of them were listeners of that show. That's how much of a family we've all become. My first pick donor, who was closer to my age, she got rejected, and then Keith was their second option. And Keith really, really, really wanted to be that person to give me a kidney. And so when I found out the first person was rejected, I, contacted him and said, hey, are you still interested? He goes, yes. Who do I call? What do I gotta do? Just tell me, I will do whatever. And of course, he lives in California, so he literally flew out to PA to finish all his testing he needed to get done, and then, which was in April of last year, and then that all came back great, and flew back basically 2 months later. Our transplant was June 3rd of last year, so we just flipped over a year, to give me a kidney. And it warms my heart that just, basically somebody I haven't known all my life, somebody who isn't a family member of mine, was willing to do that. And I really feel if more people out there were like Keith, who just, just have that love in their heart to do something great for somebody else. I just wish there were more people out there like that. You would have less people who need organs and everything else. So I did dialysis for about 10 months, and anybody knows dialysis isn't the easiest thing in the whole wide world to do. So, I mean, I'm not going to say it was, puppy dogs and candy canes, but I mean, I always had a smile on my face, and that was the one thing the nurses they ended up migrating towards my chair all the time because I was just that happy, upbeat person. And I truly feel going through this, that's what you have to have. You have to have that positive attitude and just that want to live and have a smile on your face. And be thankful every day that, you know, you're here and you have this opportunity. And I mean, my nurses were so sad whenever they knew they were losing me. They're like, you're one of our favorite patients. They're like, you just help, you know, make us smile and everything like that. And that's what I love to do. I love to make people laugh and smile and everything else. So, and I'm not going to say, I mean, according to my doctors and nurses and that, you know, I've been amazing patient, I guess. I was only in the hospital 3 days. I know my nurse Jolie was like, I had a surgery on Friday, and she comes in Monday, she goes like, I watched your labs all week, and she goes, so you can imagine my surprise when I come in Monday morning and they tell me they're dismissing, they're letting you go. I'm like, well, don't say that I can't get out early, because I'm going to prove you wrong. And I mean, the journey's been great. I mean, getting the kidney, I have energy and everything like that, but I tend to overdo it a lot, which I'll admit to. But like every virus they didn't want me to get, you know, BK, CMV, I got, because that's just who I am. But I beat them, no problem. I've had lots of blood work type issues with low white blood counts and stuff like that, but I know poor Jolie, she always gets frantic when she's got to tell me something bad, and I'm just like, okay, I'll just beat whatever it is, no problem. You know, and she's just like, you just take everything so, I'm like, well, why get upset and down about it? Just whatever it is, fight it, beat it, and that's that. So basically that's my story. I picked this hospital because 15 years ago, my own father had a kidney transplant here, and he had nothing but good to say about the hospital, as do I. I tell everybody all the time how great the hospital is, how great all the doctors are. Thank you, all you doctors, for everything you do. My nurse Julie, who I'm always writing to her about some little element that I have. I'm sure she probably gets annoying, but I'm so glad, you know, I have her as a nurse. I'm so glad for all the great doctors that we have here. I mean, they're just wonderful. I mean, everybody want to give them a round of applause because they do awesome work. So, I mean, it's not just about us, it's about them too. I mean, so that's my story, and hey, like I said, you know, just we need more people out there who are willing and wanting to donate to people. That would be wonderful. So, all right, have a good day. Thank you.